stuff, a lot of charity work and things like that. We save our charity work mostly for the end of the year. That way we can just do that at home. Of course,
Right.
lots of charity things going on around the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to raise funds for the needy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't give you $1,000, but I can help you raise 10,000 if we do it right.
that's much nicer, right?
Absolutely.
It's much nicer. All right, so I'm going to just slate it. I'm just going to slate it in a minute by saying, hi, this is Jim from Sideshow Gazette. I'm here with Captain Steele and Maybelle out of Georgia, and we're here to talk about their career, their life, their interest, and what the future is. So I'll just start with that rant,
Perfect.
that little rant, and then we'll take it from there.
I have a conversation.
I have a few questions, but I really prefer that people just rant.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
All
You wanna know how
performers,
amazing we are? Just ask us.
all performers are so good at that. That's why this interview process is so easy for me. We got some good ones. I have in the can already. I have Harley Newman is coming up next.
So we're basically Harley's fluffers, is what you're saying.
Well, listen, you're going to be like the December issue comes out. That's Harley's, and that's Nathan and Genocide. Those are the three interviews, and then yours will probably be in the next issue. Will be like the March issue.
Oh, so he's our fluffer.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Exactly. Better position.
That's exactly it.
All right, so here we go. Strike one. Here we go. Hi, this is Jim from Sideshow Gazette. I'm here with Captain Steele and Maybelle out of Georgia. Two amazing sideshow performers who have set records and done TV like crazy. America's Got Talent and Ripley's Believe It or Not. And we're here to talk about their life, their crazy, wild, wonderful, sword-swallowing, blockhead, insane life. And where did you start off? What was your interest originally, or both of your interest originally in getting into sideshow?
Well, I guess I'll take that one. I've been weird my whole life. I just really had to figure out a way to get paid for it.
Oh, you know what? Can you wait 1 second? I'm sorry.
Abs-
I forgot to turn the audio recorder on. We'll have to start again.
No worries.
You're good.
All right, start again. I apologize.
You're fine.
Yeah, I got the audio. I have a separate device for recording the audio, and it just makes the transcript automatically types out a transcript for me. It's really quite nice.
That's great.
Technology, I tell you, sometimes.
There'll be a lot of y'alls than ours.
So many y'all.
I love it. All right, here we go again. Hi, this is Jim from Sideshow Gazette. I'm here with Captain Steele and Maybelle out of Georgia, two sideshow performers who I was delighted to witness at the Sideshow Hootenanny last year at the Coney Island, USA. And a wonderful, amazing show. Amazing.
You may be called as a witness for that. I'm just going to let you know. That was too good of a time.
That was so much fun. So to start, let's go back up a little bit. Let's start about like where you guys originally got interested in sideshow.
Well, I've been weird my whole life. I just decided, I needed to figure out a way to make a living off an extreme personality disorder, and what better way than sideshow? So, 12 years old, I knew this is kind of the direction I wanted to go in my life. I knew I was an entertainer, and I love the sideshow because they celebrated being unique and different, and I felt I was always a little bit different. And then I started that, I guess, about over 25 years ago. I started performing. And then
You started performing doing suspension?
Yeah, doing suspension back in the day, a group called Psychotic Suspensions. And I did that for years. And that was kind of where I was able to cut my teeth a little bit at the time on the microphone. And in between, as they would rig and stuff, I could do a little blockhead or something in front of a crowd. And then in 2008, I did my first show with this beautiful gal.
Yep, first public show ever was Halloween 2008 at a little bar called the Gravity Pub. And he put together a whole show, and I was his assistant, but I was mute, so I didn't talk at all. I was just kind of there as the assistant, but I didn't do anything myself.
And probably that show would have been best if I didn't talk too, because I'm sure I was terrible.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, and you know, we were doing a lot of bars and a lot of club shows, rock clubs, things like that. And 2011, we did America's Got Talent, and we made it to the top 48 out of 102,000 auditions that year. And then from there, it was, we haven't stopped. We haven't slowed down. We use that as just a stepping stone to help us in our career. And then it opened up so many more doors, and then just the drive. And I get to perform and hang out with my best friend every weekend. It's the best part.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So I want to ask you about this one particular incident that I read about in a couple of the articles I picked up on YouTube, and that was your misfortune of having an accident with the sword swallowing. Can you tell us about that?
Well, yeah. It was
October 2018.
2018, and we were doing a venue. You want to do this one? You probably remember it better than I do.
I do remember it better because I did not have blood loss. I did not suffer from extreme blood loss. It was October 2018. We were, Halloween is everyone's busiest season, and it was my first show of the day, but his fifth show of the day. And it was at a venue that we've done shows at hundreds of times. With a band that we've worked with multiple times, and it had low ceilings. So when he is doing a 13 sword swallow, instead of standing and being perfectly lined up, he dropped down to one knee, and I was behind him. And I remember when he was putting him in that he stopped, and then he went and he continued on, and I thought, well, that's not normally how it goes. And then he twisted everything inside too, and as soon as he came off stage in the back green room and pulled the swords out, we saw not just a little bit of blood as sword swallowers can, find time to time on their swords. There was a lot.
A massive amount. It was a higher injury, so mouth filled full of blood immediately. I knew what was going on, and it was it was just something that I was doing with another group, and so I immediately went off. I walked off stage and knew something was wrong, and me being me, we had a sold out show the next day in Huntsville,
Alabama.
And rather than disappoint my fans, we decided that we called on a sword swallower.
Yes, I decided, because this guy was not talking and was pretty much, very not communicative at all. And I knew, so we've never canceled a show, ever. Not because of illness, not because of running late, which we don't typically do. It's just not something that's in our nature. And I knew that. And I said, he's not going to want to cancel this. And he's refusing to go to the hospital. So I actually reached out to another sword swallower, Ray Diaz. And he was he was taking a break from doing his spot at World of Wonders. And he was in South Georgia. And I just texted him. I called him. He didn't answer. And it was probably 6 a.m. And I just said, hey, I'm in a pickle. Can you hop on this gig in Huntsville, Alabama? I could pay you this. And I didn't even really tell him what was going on. And then I got in the shower. By the time I got out, he said, say no more. I'm on my way. I'll meet you there. And so when he met us there, that's when he realized what was going on. And so very thankful to have a small network, of other sword swallowers, and just how everything happened. The guy did the show.
I did the entire show except for the sword swallowing.
Except for the sword swallowing.
And what was his name that took his place?
Ray Diaz.
Ray Diaz. Nice.
Yeah, he used to work with World of Wonders for quite a while. I don't know how much performing he's doing nowadays, but yeah, so we ended up doing the show. The crowd was happy, and it was about 36 hours before I finally made it to a hospital, and they immediately admitted me, and spent about 2 weeks fighting for my life, and a couple blood transfusions, and they said I would never do it again, and as you know, that's the fastest way to get me back on my feet.
I saw it myself.
That's it.
You did.
So one of the other things you mentioned in the article was, which I think is a common annoyance by so many other performers who do live shows, is the propensity for people to use their damn cell phones while you're performing. It's just completely crazy. It's like, I think the younger generation just has to see everything through their cell phone screen. It's really annoying, but
a lot of times if they don't record it and put it up the next day, it didn't happen. Almost, you almost have to prove that they did, and it's a double-edged sword. In one sense, you see what I did there? In one sense, they're filming it and putting you up on social media and spreading your name, but in another sense, I just love seeing your natural reaction without a phone in front of your face. And I love an intimate moment. We went and saw an entertainer last night, and we actually, as we were watching, there wasn't one moment I pulled my phone out, even though I really wanted to record a moment. I was like, no, I'm not going to be that guy. I just want to sit here and enjoy it and watch the entire show. It's just, I don't know, there's something magical about it, because sometimes memories get better as you don't have evidence.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. Sometimes some things are best left unrecorded.
I think so.
I mean, the memory is much more vivid in its interpretation of history. I mean, that's happened to me because, well, I mean, when I was helping Philippe do the World Trade Center high wire walk, right? The gentleman that was on the roof that was supposed to be filming with a 16 millimeter movie camera didn't get around to taking the movie camera out. He only shot stills. So in the movie, multiple years later, the stills were the only thing that were in the film with the music track, and actually it was much more interesting to see it that way than to have a video that probably would have been shown a million times on TV and would have been completely old hat by then. It's
still technology. Something magical.
It is magical. Yeah, I mean, live performance is live performance for a reason. I mean, that's the whole point of it. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. So what else do I have to ask you? Well, Captain Steele. CaptainandMaybelle.com is your website?
It is. We've been working really hard updating our store and trying to...
It looks great.
We're working hard at it here lately.
It looks great. And I look forward to seeing you guys sometime in the not-too-distant future. Are you planning on coming east again, or...?
Oh, yeah. We are... Let's see, go ahead.
I was just going to say, we actually just got the Sideshow Gazette, and I was reading it, loved it, and I saw that the dates for the Cabinet of Curiosities of Curious People or whatnot is in April, so who knows if we'll make it up there for that way, but our schedule-wise, we have a lot, I think.
Yeah, we're about 40 weekends out of state, it looks like, next year, so we're going to be doing a lot of traveling again, which is great. We're going to be breaking 1,600 swords drop this year.
Whoa.
So 1,600 of them. And we have a lot of big things. We got some world records coming up next year. I have 9 world records ready to break. So anybody needs a big world record broke for their event, hit me up. We can talk about it. It'll be great.
I have one more question, kind of a technical question about sword swallowing and the possibility of an injury like you had. I mean, with what happened to you, I mean, I know that the kneeling was a big issue, but if someone were swallowing one sword with a low ceiling and not kneeling, would they have the same possibility of that happening?
Good question.
I mean, you play stupid games, you're eventually going to win your stupid trophy. And somebody told me a long time ago, it's not if, it's when. And if you do dangerous stunts, and I do not only dangerous stunts, I do more than just about anybody out there, but anybody who does it as often or as much as I do doesn't really do it as often as I do. We did 100 and how many shows? 112?
138.
138 shows. So
so far this year.
And so it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
If you do it enough, it's eventually going to happen. And that day it was basically exhaustion and just making bad decisions. So can you? Absolutely, you can. I mean, a single sword can kill somebody. 13 swords, you're just up in that number.
I think it's super important to really listen, as any danger act does, but listen to your body and really pay attention to how the act is going every single act. That way when something is not right. Really just be in tune with your guts.
Yep.
It seems like you've satisfied the sword swallowing gods for the time being.
So far, so good. But maybe I do make a point to try to give back to our community, and maybe they see that. And of course, I Also, you know, I love being an entertainer. So if I die on that stage swallowing those swords, it's what I would feel like I was born to do, is to entertain. And you know what? That would be damn entertaining, especially if you got it on video. You know, that would be awesome. So, but yeah, it's just what I'm born to do. I will be that little old man in a town square throwing his hat out and collecting change, you know, just for, because that's what I was born to do. I want to be a performer. I love shocking people, and it feeds my soul. You know? That goes a long ways.
Yeah, it's quite stunning. What you do is quite stunning, and you know, it's quite phenomenal when you're watching it. It really, it kind of, I mean, I'm not a sideshow performer. I used to perform as a mime, which is a much more gentle. Obviously, you know, not.
Depends on the crowd.
I get a bunch of walls. Maybe that's, you know, that's about as far as I go. But you know, but what you're doing is there's a psychic. There's a psychic reaction in the mind of a human that watches something like what you're doing. Like nothing is impossible. This is phenomenal. It's a gesture of I don't know, like godliness in a way. It's just quite stunning. And thank you very much for a great show at the Hoot. It was really wonderful to meet you guys. And thank you very much.
Absolutely, we appreciate you.
Yeah.